how big is your butt? Not your like butt, not like that thing, but your butt, your B-U-T butt. I read that from an ad recently, and it was something I thought was both hilarious and certainly caught my attention, because how many ads ask you how big your butt is? But the butt that I'm talking about and that the ad was talking about was the excuses we make to not do something. A lot of the clients that I talk to, especially at the beginning, when I ask them, why do you do this or why don't you do that? Well, I could do that, but I could say that, but, right? And, whether you inflect up or down, it's still a but, and it still gets in your way. And the bigger your butt, the harder it is for you to actually start making excuses and take responsibility and actually move through and get something done. So I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but there's some wonderful background noise. Hopefully you can still hear me. So how do we get rid of our big butts? Right, well, we can't deny sometimes that we have big butts. And yet that doesn't mean we have to accept that's necessarily what we're stuck with. I was reading a book called Limitless by Jim Quick. And I've got this in my book, but it reminded me again in his book about fixed mentality versus growth mentality. Fixed mentality is, I've always been this way, I'm always gonna be this way, so, bug off. Whereas growth mentality is, maybe this is something I can change. And so I've always said to myself, I have a terrible memory, right? And I can look back from my childhood when my sisters and I, we would compete on stuff, and it would be just like, man, she can always remember stuff and I can't remember squat. And so I've taken that. It's like, well, I could do this, but I've got a bad memory. I could probably do a presentation without slides, but I have a bad memory. And my butt, my friends, was huge. Like, I know it's like outside the frame of the video. But it's something that I've decided that I no longer want. I want to shrink that butt. I want to get that butt so tiny that nobody can see it, and it doesn't stop me from getting what I want, which is just honestly to remember things better and to stop accepting that there's something in my life that I can't change, because that's fixed, and I don't want to be fixed. I want to grow, I want to change, I want to be creative, and all of our butts hold us back. So my butts, just to be completely authentic, one was I have a bad memory. I have a big butt about choking. So I always found that when I would play sports, it didn't matter what sport, it could be bowling, basketball, or football. No matter what, if there was like that, when you really need to show up for whatever reason, I would choke. Drove me bonkers. Still drives me bonkers. But you know what? I continued to behave that way because I've made it a but. I've made it I could win, but I always choke at the end. And so because I tell myself that, and again, reticular activation, part of our brains is like, okay, whatever you tell me, I'm gonna make you act, I'm gonna make you believe, I'm gonna make you see, right? And I'm gonna blind you to anything other than what you've accepted as how you talk to yourself and what you've accepted about yourself and about others and about the world around you. So the more butts we have, the harder it is for us to progress, the harder it is for us to generate the happiness we want, to generate the success we want. Because I was listening to a Lewis Howes, it was just a little snippet on LinkedIn of Lewis Howes, and I don't even know who it was. And he was just talking about that things don't happen to us, we generate them. So anger doesn't happen to us, we generate that. Happiness doesn't happen to us, we generate that. And so when you look at it that way and you realize, okay, I can generate things, what I want, I can create. And the only thing stepping in my way is my butts. How many big butts do you have? Can you turn a big butt into a little butt and then move on to the next big butt to get a little butt? Because little butts are easier to overcome. And then one day you're going to realize that you don't have any butts at all. And that, my friends, is a good day. So think about the next time you say, I want to butt. And then ask yourself, how many other times have you said but? And then would you like to get rid of that but? I'm going to be opening up my group coaching coming up in August. So look out for some information about that there, because that's getting rid of all the butts. The big butts, the little butts, and all the butts in between. So if that's what you'd like to get rid of because you want more confidence, you want more influence, you want more people to say yes to you, you want more clients, you want better relationships with your kids or with your family, or you just want to have a little bit more stability in your life. this might be something that would be perfectly up your alley. So join my mailing list. Just go to my website, rebeccamountain.ca, wait 15 seconds, and you'll get a little pop-up, and you'll be the first in line to get some information about that. Okay, so my friends, we cannot deny that sometimes we have big butts, but we can also make the big butts go away. Take care.